Hello, in this video I will show you how to add economy and shop to your Unturned server, enabling commands such as balance, pay, but also buy and sell of items and vehicles. I will be using the two popular and free plugins, Uconomy and ZaupShop. Let's get started. To download the latest version of the plugins, go to RestoreMonarchy.com. There you should be able to find a plugins page. And in this page you can find ZaupShop and Uconomy plugins. If you can't find them, just search. So first download the Uconomy plugin, then return to the plugins page and find and download ZaupShop. The links to these plugins will also be available in the description of this video. Next, open the Downloads folder in File Explorer and click on one of the downloaded files. Then right-click on it and select Extract All. Make sure to uncheck this option and click Extract. Now do the same with the second file. Now that we have two folders, you can delete the zip files. In these folders, there are plugins and libraries files that you need to install on your server. Go to File Manager of your server. From there, navigate to Servers, Unturned, Rocket, Plugins. Now open your Windows File Explorer window. Open the Uconomy folder, Plugins, and drag and drop uconomy.dll. Do the same with ZaupShop. Now that you have installed plugins, we need to install libraries. To do that, go back one directory to Rocket and open Libraries. Now open the Windows File Explorer, open one of the folders, select Libraries, select all of the libraries in the Libraries folder of the plugin, and drag and drop it into your file manager. Wait for the libraries to be uploaded, then go to the server console and restart. When the server will start and you scroll up in the console, you will see the red errors. And that's okay, because we haven't set up the database yet, which you must configure in the plugin configuration. But before you do that, you need to create this MySQL database. Most game server hosting providers provide you with a MySQL database. In their panels, although they may look different than this, you should be able to find a database page. In my case, it is called Databases. Open that page, and in this page you should have an option to create a new database. For a database name, I recommend using just Unturned. And if your host asks you for connections from input, just leave it empty. Once you create a database, you should be able to see the connection details to this database, which you must enter in the Uconomy configuration in order to use these plugins. So let's open the File Manager in New tab. Again, navigate to Servers, Unturned, Rocket, and Plugins. You can see that because we have restarted the server, there will be two folders, Uconomy and ZaupShop. The MySQL connection details must be entered in the Uconomy configuration only, so let's open that. As you can see, there are 6 database options: address, username, password, database name, table name, and port. Each of these you should be able to find in the databases page. I'm gonna split the screen to make it easier to enter those values. The first option that you must enter is database address. In my case, it is an endpoint. So what you can do is copy it and paste it here. And as you can see, it is an IP with a colon and another number. This IP is actually a database address. But what you must do is remove the colon and the second number from this text. Next, it is database username. In my case, it is just username as well. So I can copy it and simply paste it here. Next, there is password. To view the password, you usually have to press some button, like for example, I have to press this, and I can see the password to my database in the 4th row. So I'm gonna copy it and paste it into database password value. Next, there is database name. So I'm gonna close this, and the database name in my case is S58_unturned. It isn't labeled by anything, but it is my database name. So I'm gonna copy it and paste it into database name value. Next, there is database table name. If you're installing the plugin for the first time, you don't need to change it. It is the name for the table in which the Uconomy plugin will store player balances. Next, there is database port. Its default value, 3306, is a default MySQL port. So in most cases, you don't have to change it. However, you should always make sure that your hosting doesn't use a different port for your MySQL server. In my case, it is different. This port is the number after the IP or domain and after the colon separator, which in my case is 5836. So I'm just gonna type it in carefully and replace the default value. That's all when it comes to database configuration. I will now save the file and restart the server. After the server restarts successfully, scroll up in the console to make sure there isn't any errors. As you can see this time, I don't have any red errors, and I can see that the plugins have been loaded successfully. We didn't have to configure the database for ZaupShop because it uses the same values that you have entered in the Uconomy configuration. Now I will show you how to add items and vehicles to shop. There are two ways to manage items and vehicles prices in the shop. The first way is by using the shop command, which you can use in console or in game as an admin. And the second way is by using MySQL client like HeidiSQL or PHPMyAdmin. But I recommend using HeidiSQL. I will first show you how to use the shop command to manage the prices, but then I will also show you how you can install and use HeidiSQL. At the end of this video, I will show you how you can import the already pre-made prices that I have made for almost all over 1000 vanilla items and over 200 vehicles. But first, shop command. So if you type in shop, you will see the syntax of this command. It has two subcommands, add or remove. So if you want to add item, you type in shop add, then the ID of an item, which I will use MapleStrike, then cost and buyback, so the cost which is a buy price for this item, so how much the player must pay for it, and buyback is how much the server pays the player for selling this item. So as cost I will set 2,500, and as a buyback, which is the sell price, I will set to 200. And as you can see, I have added the MapleStrike. So now let's add a vehicle. So I will add military helicopter. And now instead of typing in the item ID, I'm gonna first have to enter v dot and then type in the ID of the vehicle. For example, 93, and then the price for it. And I'm gonna set it to 20,000. And for the vehicles, you can't set the buyback price. And as you can see, I have added the helicopter for 20,000 to the shop. But now let's say you want to remove an item or vehicle from the shop. So you type in shop, remove. And I'm gonna remove this helicopter. So I'm gonna type in v.93 and then just press enter. And the vehicle is removed. So it's not available in the shop anymore again. Or let's say I want to edit the price of Maple Strike. So what I do is type in shop at, and again the ID of Maple Strike, the cost. So I'm gonna change it to 2000. And the buyback price, I'll keep it at 200. And as you can see, the price was changed. Even though it says added, it was actually updated. And this is how you use shop command. Moving on to the second way that you can use to manage prices on your server, which in my opinion is also better. You need to start by installing HeidiSQL, MySQL client if you don't have it yet. So simply go in a browser and search for HeidiSQL, download. Go to HeidiSQL.com and download the latest installer version. When the download is completed, run the setup, then launch it. It will open the session manager that will look somewhat like this. Now we need to connect to the MySQL server database that we used in the Uconomy configuration. So let's go back to the server console page, go to Files, Servers, Unturned Racket, Plugins, and open Uconomy folder and Configuration. And from here I will copy the connection details. So I'm gonna hit New. I'm gonna name this as Unturned database. And for the first value, which is hostname or IP, I'm gonna enter the IP, which in your case might also be the domain. And I copy it from the database address of Uconomy configuration. Next, there is database username, which I'm also going to copy and replace the default root value with the value from Uconomy configuration. And as you can see, I have accidentally forgot to copy the H symbol in the database username. So I'm going to have to do it again. And I'm going to paste it again. So be careful when copying those values, because if you miss one character, you won't be able to connect. Then there is password. So I'm going to select it carefully and copy and paste it into the password input in HeidiSQL. Then there is port, which I must change, but it might be the same as you have in the database port. So I'm going to replace 3306 with my value 5836. And finally, if you want, you can enter the database name in the databases here, but you don't have to, so I will not. So before you click open, make sure to save this session so you don't have to enter it every time we want to connect to the database. And once you save it, you can finally open connection. When you connect to the server, you will be able to see a window something like this. You can expand it. You can make more space here so you can see the full names of your databases. So here on this left side, there's a list of databases that your user has access to. So I'm gonna click on S58_unturned because that's the name of the database that I have used in the Uconomy configuration. And as you can see, there are 3 tables, and one of them is Uconomy, another one is Uconomy item shop, and yet another one is Uconomy vehicle shop. So now to view the data in these tables, I'm gonna click here. And now I will open the Uconomy item shop table. Now that I have selected it, I have to click on data. And here, as you can see, there's a Maple Strike that we have added using the commands. If I wanted, I could add items manually by right-clicking and pressing Insert Row, but don't do that. Instead, what I recommend is opening the server console again. And here, to add all items that your server has, including the modded items, you can type in a command upload item shop. What it does is collects all item assets on your server, including workshop items, then upload them to the Uconomy item shop table. So finally, when you go back to data, tap here in the HeidiSQL and right click on a blank space, for example here, and click refresh, you will see that all of the items have been added to this table. So we can edit the cost and buyback price much easier without having to specify item name and ID. So if you want to modify the price of work jeans, for example, you click on the value, actually double click, and now you are able to modify it. So for example, let's set the price of work jeans to 60. Then to confirm the changes, you click on the blank space and you can see it was added or changed actually. So let's do the same with the buyback. I'm gonna double click, select and change to 10. So the players can sell it for 10 credits. And to apply the changes, I'm gonna click on the blank space here. And so that's how you can go and edit all of the items in this shop. So I'm also gonna show you how you can do the same with vehicles. So let's click on the vehicles table. And it was already selected to data tab. So we can see there is really no data in the vehicle shop because we have removed the helicopter. So what I'm gonna do is gonna upload all vehicles from my server here using the upload vehicle shop command. And once it's uploaded, I'm gonna right click in the blank space and click refresh. And as you can see, all vehicles from the server have been added here. So I can edit the prices more easily. Let's set the off-roader price to 2000. Then off-roader blue to 2000 as well. And well, you know how to do it now. You can make the columns wider if they're too small. So this is how you can manage the prices using HeidiSQL. You don't have to restart the server when you make changes. If you change the price and somebody tries to buy something, it will be the new price without having to restart the server. If the price is set to 0, then the players won't be able to buy this item. Only items that have price greater than 0 can be purchased or sold. I will now show you how you can import the pre-made prices I have made for my servers. So what you have to do is go back to RestoreMonarchy.com, find the ZaupShop plugin, and in the description of this plugin you will find two commands: import item shop and import vehicle shop with some specific URLs. So you first want to copy the import item shop command, go to the server console and simply paste it. As you can see, this is a URL to the file of itemshop.json that I have prepared. So when you run it, it will download this file and import the prices from this file to the database. And as you can see, that just happened. So if I go back to HeidiSQL and refresh, you can see now almost all of the items have prices. I skipped items like raw explosives because I didn't want people to buy items that they could use for raiding other people's bases. But if you want to add them, you can add them. So the same thing you can do with vehicles. So let's go back to the plugin page, select the command, copy, then paste it in the console. You can't execute this command from in-game chat, you must do it from the console. and when you run it, it will import all the vehicles. So let's check now. So we will open the Uconomy vehicle shop table, and as you can see, most or even all of the vehicles have prices. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments section below or on our forum at restoremonarchy.com/forum. The link to it will be in the description below.